Welcome to the Minority Business Report, where we talk about positive things that are happening in Anne Arundel County. I am Joanne Jackson, Anne Arundel County Minority Business Enterprise Coordinator. My guest today is Mei Len Sanchez-Barr, co-owner along with her husband, Dr. Brady Barr of Eco Enterprises, LLC in Millersville. But before we get started, would you tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what it is that you do?
Sure. So I was born in Costa Rica. My father is Chinese and my mother Costa Rican. I grew up there to about 11 years old, and then we came to the United States for a better life. And we moved to Florida. From there, I grew up, and my father died at a young age, about 17, so it kind of forced me to grow up really quickly. I did go to college. I went to a few colleges. I graduated from the University of Miami, finally. But it was a struggle, I have to admit, because I had to work 3 jobs. It was tough with my family and not having, my father around. But I can tell you, Joanne, that's really who I am today. It made me stronger. I know I'm a survivor. And it definitely kind of made me grow up and be who I am. Now today, I am a director of Eco Adventures along with my husband, Dr. Brady Barr. He worked with National Geographic for over 20 years and had a show on television. And now he's retired from the dangerous kind of line of work and what he does on television. And we both started this nature. It's a nature and hands-on. It's an enrichment, education, and conservation center. So it's really one of a kind. You have zoos and you have schools, but we're not a zoo, we're not a school. We're kind of somewhere in between because we are all about inquiry-based learning. The more that we get the kids, with hands-on, the more that we can get them to do things, the more that we feel are going to create defining moments in their life, and that's what we're all about.
And you have children yourself?
Now we have 2 children. So we have Isabella, who's 11, and Braxton, who's 8 years old. And we have a lot of animals as well, as part of our family.
And what brought you to Anne Arundel County?
I'm sorry?
What brought you to the county?
It was Brady's job for National Geographic, so we moved up here to Maryland, where it was kind of a central location because National Geographic is in D.C. Right. And then I got a job at the National Aquarium in Baltimore. So I've been in zoos and aquariums all my life, but then once I had a family, we decided to, my husband traveled a lot, so I had to stay home with my family. So I started just doing small programs out of my basement as a hobby, and so that's how it all got started. It was in my basement, basically. And I had animals to begin with, and I would just take them to schools. I would do local birthday parties and things like that, and it just got bigger and bigger, which made me realize maybe there's a really true need for this type of programming in this area. So that's how Eco Adventures got started.
Well, we're really glad to have you here. And my thoughts when I first met you is that, we need a lot more to keep our children stimulated besides watching TV and sports. And Eco Adventures is a very exciting educational enrichment experience, like you said. And for anyone interested in nature and the rainforest habitat, how did you, what are your thoughts about conservation education? And you have such an interesting background. Can you tell us about that and what really sparked your interest in working with creatures?
Sure. So that was pretty easy because when I was in Costa Rica, and if you know anything about Costa Rica, it's just a biologist's paradise. You have everything there at your disposal, with whether it's rainforest, you got the you got cloudy rainforest, you got beaches, all sorts of different kinds of environments, which I was exposed to at a very young age. So we used to go out and about all the time hiking. We used to go to the mountains. We used to go to the beaches. But what really kind of made my defining moment was my uncle took me when I was about 9 years old to the beach to watch sea turtle lay their eggs. And that was a spark in me, but it was for the wrong reason. It wasn't that I went to go see a sea turtle and that was it. It was that my uncle was actually poaching eggs. And at that time, it was very common. Everybody would do it, but I saw that that was wrong. You know, when they used to put the bags right underneath the poor sea turtle, those eggs never even touched the sand, and I thought, wow, those babies will never grow up. So at a young age, it really, really impacted my heart, and so I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to teach others that this is wrong. And I want to become a scientist. I want to learn more about him. So that's what I am today. Is I am an educator and a marine biologist. So that's kind of what got me going.
Okay. I got a little distracted. We have our friend. Does he have a name?
Yes, we have. So this one is Olaf. Okay. And you'll see that a lot of our animals, we have over 100 animals at our facility. They do have a lot of Disney character names. But this is Olaf. Would you like to see him?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think you have a choice, Joanne. So Olaf, our center focuses on crocodilians because what my husband and I are crocodilian biologists as well. So Brady has been on the show for 20 years, but he did research with them for all over the world for many years. That includes the diet of the American alligator, and so we definitely have a lot of crocodilians. We have 7 different species of crocodilians. This is an American alligator, and this is just a baby. So a lot of what we do at our facility is conservation education, and we promote awareness for all sorts of different kinds of animals, but specifically a lot of herpetology, which means amphibians and reptiles, because a lot of times they get a bad name. You know, you hear all the negative news and things of crocodiles eating people or snakes or whatever it may be, and they do need an advocate. And so we're kind of their advocate to let them know not only do they deserve respect, you know, but they also play an important part in an environment. And without these guys, you know, there's a lot of environments that just completely collapse. Right. So it's really nice to be able to get these kids really interested in touching the animals. It's amazing how you know, just by touching an animal, you don't know what kind of difference you can create in, you know, sparking an interest or what it may be. So, I mean, who wouldn't love this guy, right? He's so cute.
Yeah.
Would you like to hold him?
Okay.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so all you have to do is just go like this, yeah, and just hold him right here so he doesn't fall off, and then just right there, yeah. So
really soft.
He is. So he's got, you know, he's got this armor in the back. Those are called osteoderms, and they protect them. Now this little guy is actually going to get ginormous. So he's going to be like, you know, 20 feet long if he wants to. They can live very long, over 80 years. But we have, like I said, we have 7 different species. So not many zoos and aquariums even have that many species. We're very proud. We're part of the Crocodilian Advisory Group for zoos and aquariums, as well as the Crocodile Specialist Group. We do fundraisers a lot for them and things like that to try to raise awareness and funds for crocodile research and education. So, so there's lots of things that we, aside from education, that we do.
It's literally harmless.
Yeah.
So this is what goes on at Eco Ventures.
Yes, at Eco Adventures. Yes.
Okay.
So
I said it. I did it again.
That's all right. So yes, exactly this, because again, the more hands-on that we do with the kids, the more they're going to remember, and that's how I remembered. I had that defining moment in my life, and we're hoping to create those defining moments with kids' lives as well. And it could be as simple as just getting your fear out. You know, as touching an animal. If you're afraid of an animal and you touch it, you get confidence out of that. So we have mentoring programs, and they're therapeutic too. All these animals are super therapeutic. So we do deal with special needs as well, like hard of hearing. I want to get more into, you know, blind and ADHD, special needs that, you know, that they have different learning styles. So it's really great for a variety of different audiences.
Now, you had wanted to talk about animal interactions. I think that was one of the questions that you wanted me to ask. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So, so at Eco Adventures, we have. You want me to give it back? Okay. Okay. Sure. At Eco Adventures, we have a variety of different programs that we run, but I do want to boast about my staff, because we're not just counselors. We have a staff that has Within our staff, four people have masters, one person has a PhD. We all have backgrounds in biology, marine biology. We have archaeology and also art. A lot of artists in our staff.
Okay.
And so we try to promote STEM related programs, but STEAM as well, adding arts whenever possible. So,
STEAM, did I hear you say that?
STEAM.
And what does that stand for?
So it's science, science, technology, engineering, math, and art.
Art, okay.
So that's all in. So they've added the A into the STEAM now,
right,
and that's
right.
So we're trying to include more arts because we have a lot of artists and photographer in our staff and everything. So we might as well use their abilities to our fullest.
Right, right.
So really, it's not only the animals are the show. The stars, but our staff. Our staff is who we are and what makes us who we are, with their incredible backgrounds. So that's number one. So when you go to our programs, you're going to get top-notch staff in backgrounds and experiences and researchers and you name it. So we have during the week, for instance, we have Mommy and Me classes. We have open play so people can drop in. We have Jungle Expresses for the public to come in and look at do a presentation. We also have homeschool classes. And then in the afternoons, we do an after-school program. And that's actually award-winning after-school program. So I'm very happy to say that. During the weekends, we have birthday parties, so we do a lot of that. We have special events, we do classes. So there's a variety of different things that we do.
Now, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your business itself. I'm always interested in hearing about new business ideas and how they come to fruition. Yours has been very unique for something like this in this area. Most children-themed play areas are franchise-based, and they require substantial financing. How were you able to finance development of your project, and what challenges did you encounter in getting your idea off the ground?
Yeah, so my first vision wasn't to have this facility. It was started as a hobby. So when I started as a hobby, that's when I got the idea that maybe we need to do and explore this idea and expand on it. So it's been basically my earnings from my basement work and my savings. So our life savings have really gone into this passion of ours. We did have partners that helped us with the business aspect of things, and then they have now moved on.
Right.
So now we're all alone in this business, and it's been there. You have your challenges as well, because my background is not in business; it's in marine biology and education. So of course, I'm learning. But basically, we're just it's been the second year, and we're doing okay, but it's trying to get the word out that it's one of our biggest challenges. And I think that's what I'm trying to really focus this year, is now that my team knows what to do, they're operational, I can step back and now really focus on trying to get new business.
Well, hopefully we can do something about that. Here at the county, we've got all kind of promotional opportunities. I definitely will be contacting my contacts in the nonprofit world, because I see this as a very valuable tool for children in the educational piece, especially in the school system. We've got certain schools that have an ecology background or what am I saying, a model, like South River High School. South County High School has a signature program.
Oh, right, the magnets.
So they probably.
Yeah, I forgot to mention we do field trips. So it started slowly, but now we're trying. Once I believe, Joanne, once people see us and come to our facility, they're hooked and they want to come back again. Is getting the word out to people to know that we're actually there.
Right.
So we have done field trips, and people come to us. We take animals out to schools. special events too as well, birthday parties, things like that. We also do camps. So camps have been our bread and butter during the summer. Anytime when school's out, that's when we do camps. And they're, like for instance, we have one that's coming, So You Want to Be a Zookeeper. So we try to incorporate, careers. We try to incorporate things of interest for young adults. I mean, adolescents and kids. So they start as early as 3 years old. We can do mini camps, and they go all the way up to 18 years old.
And so basically that was my next question is, I really liked your programs and the things that we talked about, especially the ones for older children and teens, because you're teaching them about animal care. It's almost like a mini training program, and I think it's a great idea, especially to get young girls, in particular, involved in marine biology. We need more women in the sciences. In the sciences. Can you tell our audience about more of your programs and how they are working?
Sure. So that is one of my passions too, because I believe that if you get the children at a young age, again, to instill, caring for the environment, that's going to be a positive thing altogether for everyone. So we have an after-school program, and this after-school program, it's in depth, where we get the kids kind of involved in everything that we do from behind the scenes. They learn about feeding, husbandry, our different animal care, veterinary. We also bring in a lot of different guest speakers from DNR, like vets, vet techs, whatever, so that the kids can learn different things. We have themes every week, but also we give them the responsibilities. We give them chores, we work on homework, and that will give them responsibility, teamwork. They learn social skills. We do work with some, special needs kids, and for them, this is their haven, because if they're not into sports, that's okay. This is their place where they can be themselves. And so it's really been very nice and rewarding for me, because I've seen some of these kids, very early participants when I was doing programs at the community center in Severna Park. And now they're growing up, and now I just hired one person that used to be, in the after-school program. So it's very rewarding. It's, it gives the kids really something to truly look forward to every day. We interview them. We give them those types of skills that they're going to need in the future. So they interview with us. And then as far as young women in science go, I worked with crocodilians with my husband, and when we started that out, when I started working, there were no women in the field. And then slowly that's been changing. So again, I'm really a big advocate of trying to promote women in science and math and research. And I have a lot of friends and contacts that are women, and I wanted to really truly involve them, little kids, little girls. I want to start this program called Girl Power, where we take these girls to Costa Rica, and then we involve them in research, women researchers, the rainforest, all sorts of different things, so that it can really open up, the possibilities.
The other question I was going to ask you, what age do they begin? And do you have like an active recruitment?
Oh, yeah. So it has to be 11. They have to be 11 years old and up. And then, and there is an active recruitment, but we have to actually, we invite them when we feel they're ready. So that's the thing. It's like they go through our after-school program, which is kind of like a training. And then when we feel that they're ready, take on the responsibility, then we invite them to interview. And so they're on invitation-only basis. But a lot of these guys will grow up, and now, like I said, they become volunteers, and now staff members, and who knows what else.
Well, when I came to your site, there was a young lady in the back. You were preparing for a party, and I asked her how she was doing, and she says, "I just love this." So that's the kind of feedback. And she didn't know me. I was a total stranger, but she was just very excited about being there.
Well, I think that pretty much everyone who has worked there, it's become like a family, and so it's very personal for me, of course, because they're all my kids. I take care of them and make sure that I want them to succeed, and they learn so much from research. All the kids, oftentimes we have to measure them and weigh them. We involve them. They do all that. We are also we're not a rescue center, but we have rescued a lot of animals. So we talk about why animals are rescued, and also why, when you have a pet, what to do and what not to do. A lot of people try to release pets in the wild, that kind of thing.
Right,
So it's a
right.
lot of, we do that. And then we also have a rainforest in Costa Rica, Rainforest Preserve, which part of the proceeds from our Eco Adventures funds go there to help protect the rainforest, as well as, we do research there as well. And then in this upcoming year, we're hoping to take the trips to Costa Rica to really tie in our fake rainforest to the real rainforest.
Right. And what time of year would that be?
It's in the summer.
Summer. Okay.
Yes, so this
Right.
summer is when it'll debut, and we'll see what happens. But
Okay, that sounds so exciting.
yeah.
And I see that you're going to be a success in this community as soon as we do some more work on your
Yes,
marketing.
thank
we
you.
help you get the word out.
That would be
And
great.
hoping we can do that through this show. And I also understand that you host special events and theme parties at your facility. And what type of clients do you envision working with in 2016? And how do you plan to expand your business?
Okay. So yeah, our facility, if you've never been there before, and many people have not still, it's very unique. It's very themed, and it has a rainforest where we have a crocodile pond. We have animals all over in display. We have an underwater discovery room, a volcano that erupts. You have music in the background that's rainforest music or volcanoes exploding music, that kind of thing. So it's very themed. So that's why it's a really great place to have birthday parties, special events, meetings. We're trying to kind of expand onto also reaching some companies maybe and doing company parties. But I really want to touch base on the STEM programs. Really want to focus this year, and then also the eco travel, and expanding our marketing towards all the surrounding cities besides Millersville and Severna Park. I think for the most part there's a certain area group of people that already know us, but I really definitely want to expand further and try to reach out to there's so many possibilities. We do scouting as well. It just seems like there's not enough time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Who's been there, and not being nosy, but who already knows that you're there and has been a supporter of your
So it
organization?
helped that I had my group of, I guess I can call them groupies, my little groupies when I first started in my basement. So I
Nice.
had the followers follow me to the facility now, which is nice. So they've already knew. It's been a lot of word of mouth.
Right.
So it's been great because word of mouth definitely helps, and it's all people talking about how wonderful Eco Adventures is, and you got to go check it out. But and we try to put pictures on the website, but it just doesn't do it justice. So
Right.
locally it's been Severna Park because that's where I started in Millersville area. Although I do still get some people that come in our door and say, "Hey, I live right here in Millersville. I never even knew you were here," and we've been there 2 years. So again, it's that we're not like storefront area where people can pass by and see us.
Right.
We're in a business park, kind of tucked away in the woods. So it is difficult to get the word out, but that's I'm very thankful to be here. Thank you for having me, and I hope
was
that this
excited
helps.
when I heard about it, and I said, well, I just have to go by and see you, because that's part of my job too, is to do site visits and talk to
Yes.
business people. We're getting ready to close out this segment of our show. Because you're a different kind of business, what words of advice or recommendations would you give to businesses in this community?
Okay. Well, I like I said before, it was I didn't mean for this to be this big when I first started. I worked at many zoos and aquariums all my life, from the National Aquarium, which is a world-class aquarium, to mom and pop, zoos, and worked in National Audubon. So I also worked at pharmaceuticals, sales and marketing, and I was a bartender. So all of these experiences have really helped me, with the business aspect of things. So my advice would be that for me at least, it helped me see all these experiences, helped me see what I really wanted in my life and what I didn't want in my life. And so it all kind of fell into place of what I really truly needed to do, and that was to have my own thing, because there's nothing like it. And like I said, you can go to a zoo and aquarium and you learn a lot, but it's not really hands-on. You see things, you learn, you read. Technology is great, but being at our facility is what gives you the experience, true experience, to interact with these animals, to learn about them in different ways. And we make learning fun, so the kids don't even know that they're learning. So that's been my true passion, is that, and just knowing that that's what I want to do in my life. The other thing, the other challenges are, because I'm so passionate about it and I have certain standards, especially working with animals and kids, I am so careful about safety, and making sure that everything's right. So I have to be. So I'm always, kind of there, making sure that everything's running right. And now that it's been 2 years, I feel like now it's time for me to step back, let my staff take over, and they're good, they're on their own, and just delegate. And that's the part that I think that it's, I would suggest to others, that once you feel like you can step away, to do it, because then that way I have more chance to get out there in the community and really start promoting the business.
And it's quite interesting. Most people want to work in an atmosphere where they can put their passions and really feel good about getting up every day and going to a job. And I see that in your staff. I see that in your volunteers. And I was just really taken by the work that you were doing. And I'm so glad that you were able to come on our show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Do you want to see?
Welcome.
I have one more animal, one more friend to show you. Are you ready for this one, though?
Yep.
All right, so let me put the cover on so we don't have an escapee. All right, so this guy.
He seems to be, I always had the impression that they were like squiggly kind of guys. And he's really kind of like mellow. He's not.
Yeah, and that's another misconception, of course, of animals, that if you take them out right away, that they're going to attack you or bite you, and that's not the case. So here is one that many people have misconceptions about, or fears. In fact, they're one of the top fears. Besides,
Oh my God! Look at that.
So this guy is a Burmese python.
Okay.
And this is not the right coloration, the normal coloration in the wild. So this is an albino. And the way you know that is because it's a yellow coloration. They have pink eyes or red eyes. And so basically they are missing the pigment in their skins. And that's what makes them albino. So it's a really unique color morph. But in the wild, they wouldn't survive for obvious reasons. So that's why there are a lot of these guys that are in the pet trade and things like that. So you can touch her.
Oh my goodness.
So this is what we do. We bring them out and we let them, kids see and touch, and we explain to them, a lot of people are like, aren't they going to automatically wrap around you and choke you? No, they're not. They have special diets, and the thing is also, they're reptiles. They don't have to eat as often. And they're quite docile, as you can see. I mean,
what about the poisonous?
Well, we don't have any venomous. There's poisonous and venomous animals. So the difference is, if it's venomous, the venom is being injected into you, like a bee sting or a scorpion or a snake. But if it's poisonous, you're actually ingesting it, and you're sick after that. But we don't have any venomous snakes. For obvious reasons too. But these guys, these are constrictors. And they're very gentle. You see them wrapping around. They're kind of cold. They're not slimy at all. You can feel a lot of people like, oh, they're slimy and disgusting. Now, is it okay will you stand up and I'll put them around your shoulders? Come on, you can do it. Come on, Joanne. All right, so I'm going to just grab her, and you just bow down like this for me.
Okay.
Okay, and then just go pull out your hands like that.
Snake lady.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, there you go.
It feels it just feels like a rubbery kind of thing.
Yeah. So the skins are scales.
Does it match my
you look beautiful, Joanne. It pops. Yes, we're gonna have to definitely take a picture of you like that.
Oh my goodness.
So and see, it's like some kids just they're really, apprehensive, and adults too. And then when they start touching it and they see it's not so bad, they oftentimes end up like you with their snakes. And yeah. And then they're like, oh my goodness. And they feel a sense of like, wow, accomplishment. I really did something today. And, that's positive for many reasons. It's okay. You just let her be wherever she wants to go. Yep. And she has that tongue flick and she's smelling. So it helps. Yep. She's
because I've got perfume on and keeps looking at me.
And she likes your perfume. So.
Okay, guys.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, let's put her around me. So, well, thank you so much for having us.
Okay, why don't you sit down and we can close out with you.
Okay.
Mei Len, would you like to tell us how people can reach you?
Sure. So definitely come to Eco Adventures. Go to our website for more information on what types of programming we have, and it's www.ecoadventures.org. So please come visit us. Come check us out. You won't be disappointed.
Thanks, Mei Len, for your insights and recommendations. Stay tuned to Channel 98, Verizon 38 for the Minority Business Report, airing at 1 and 5 daily. You can also watch us on YouTube. If you have any comments or suggestions regarding this show, please contact me at the Office of Central Services in Annapolis on 410-222-7620. We are here working for you. Peace and blessings. The following bids are available from the Anne Arundel County Purchasing Office.